Thank you for joining us again for today's live streaming on OY Media Scotland. Our programs start by 7:45. That is what we started from December, and that kicks off with Itan, Lady Yoruba, that you have heard. That is with Lady IBK Sanusi, that is Apeke Ade. By 6 p.m. we have our news highlights, and of course at 6:05 is parenting tips with MM. At 18:15, which is our next program, we'll be going on the program Consciousness. And today we've got another African role model for us in the person of Miss Lydia Cutler. She's the MD of Aberdeen Fashion Week, marketing director, Edinburgh Fashion Festival, and creative director of Kemunto Fashions. There are some other things that she does as well. She'll be able to tell us more about that once we get on the program. Stay on with me as I bring in our guest for today on Consciousness, Miss Lydia Cutler. Right, welcome to the program. Miss Lydia, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Brother Samuel.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on the program. And I believe that people have been waiting to see our beautiful sister and to hear about what you've been doing. I know that the ones that I've put on there are more things that you do, and we'll get to know them in the course of this interview. So, who is Miss Lydia Cutler?
I am an African fashion designer and teacher from Kenya, actually. I live in Aberdeen, Scotland, mother of 3 boys. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, that's great. That's great. You stay in Aberdeen?
Yes, I do.
And I think that's is that a place where they call where the oil money is?
That's what they say. I don't know if there's oil anymore, to be honest, but yeah, it's the capital city of oil and gas in Europe.
Yeah. Thank you for that information. Now, coming back to yourself, I mean, you've been in Scotland for a while now. In the course of being around here, I mean, we'll see your some of your titles, which I believe is part of your professional resume. You've actually got involved in quite lots of things, and which I believe you are still doing. So the question here is, how was your journey? How did you get to where you are today in this area of business?
Right. I've been, when I was quite young, I started sketching dresses. I was particularly interested in wedding dresses. And that went on, just sketching. And when I got to high school, I got to do stitching or tailoring class. And after that, went to university and then had the opportunity to come here and do my master's. And when I was here in the UK is when I actually thought I could sort of make this commercial, and that's when I started making my dresses. That was actually, I had the concept of doing that here. But we moved to Australia for a short while, and I started doing my fashion design in Australia the year 2008.
Okay, great. I mean, there are many people from the African community who've tried to start up things around here. And I believe that some of them will see you as a role model since you've been in that area, or yes, in that area. But then they used to say that most of the success story we see today, it must have involved lots of sacrifices. That is not just, yes, you just wake up and at the tap of your finger, you just get to where you are today. For the purpose of people that are watching us and might want to learn one thing or the other, what would you regard as the values that you that you had to bring up during that time for that sustain you during those stages before you get to where you are today?
Well, thank you. That's a good question. It's not been easy. I can tell you that. First of all, I hope that I'm not going to sound bad here, but being an African in the fashion industry, especially in Scotland, can get a lot of people feeling as if because you're not from here, you shouldn't be doing things. I've had to put sweat, blood, and pain and all that, more stress to get where I am today, because I don't believe in giving up. I go on and do what I want to do, no matter what you feel or how you feel. I know that I'm good at what I do, and then I go on and do it.
Okay, so when we talk about resilience, can we talk about patience?
What?
And is this right? Some people believe that, I mean, it's easier for women to do business. Is that something you agree with?
I've never been a man, therefore I can't know. But no, it's not easy. I can tell you this. It's really difficult to get into business in these countries. But if you put your mind to it, as I said before, you can do it. I don't know how it happens for men, to be honest, how they do their business. But myself and some ladies that I've talked to, it's always really difficult. But then again, it depends on which industry you are in. Fashion industry has never been easy for anyone, let alone an African person. I can tell you when I started, especially Aberdeen Fashion Week.
Right.
Because I used to have a bridal shop before that. Then I started the Aberdeen Fashion Week. That was 2003. 2013, sorry. 2013. Okay. And when I started, I had people come to me, prominent Scottish people, tell me, because you're African, you shouldn't be doing this. Not African, actually, because you're black. And then somebody else comes and tells me, you could leave it for a Scottish person who is younger. Somebody else came and told me, Aberdeen is not a fashion place. But I say to them, what I'm doing is mainly for the expatriate, because as we said before, oil and gas. So if you feel, and to be honest, the Scottish people love fashion. They love fashion so much. It's just a few people who felt then. But they have come to see that I'm not going to stop and I will continue doing this. And we are happy together now with whoever was feeling as if I couldn't have done it. And this is going back in the day. So right now, I don't think that anyone is going to be trying to make me stop what I'm doing, because I do it so well.
Okay. So that's the place. That's the place of quality now.
You can say that.
Even if they don't like your face, I mean, they will like your work.
Something like that.
Okay, Shares. Okay, you've mentioned briefly, but then I would actually want us to go right in there. Aberdeen Fashion Week, what is it about?
Aberdeen Fashion Week is a fashion trade show. It's a platform for so many designers to come from anywhere around the world. We've actually had designers come from Nigeria to Aberdeen Fashion Week. They come to showcase their clothes. We get buyers to come. The buyers get to choose the dresses they want, either for their boutiques. And then we have fashionistas who also come on the day. If they like the dresses that are there, they can also buy that. So it's a trade show for fashion designers to get to sell their clothes to the public and to the buyers for their boutiques.
Okay. Before the end of the program, we will obviously get your details so that people that are interested could get in touch with you. But is the Edinburgh Fashion Festival, is it just like the duplication of the one you have at Aberdeen, or is completely different?
It's completely different.
Okay. So what is it?
While Fashion Week and Fashion Festival are not the same. Fashion Week is a trade show, but Fashion Festival, it's more like a celebration of designers, of models, of photographers, of buyers. They come together. We have fashion shows. Actually, it's the first time it's going to be. The company just got started not so long ago, just before COVID hit.
All right.
So we are just waiting to go on and do the first festival. So what Fashion Festival normally is celebration of the fashion industry. There will be fashion events, it's similar, but then again, we're not going to be having buyers to come and buy the clothes. They're just coming to see. Anyone can buy the clothes then, but it's predominantly people, celebrating fashion.
Okay, that's great. And
can I just add?
Yes, please.
So Edinburgh Fashion Festival will always be together or at the same time with the Edinburgh Film Festival, which is known all over the world. So it's going to be during that week. And what that means is that when people are celebrating films, UK or Scottish films or films from all over the world, we will also be celebrating fashion.
Okay, at the same time. I mean, that's a very good strategy. Now the Kemunto fashions. So is this your brand?
Yes, it is.
I know all of them are your brands and where you have the Fashion Week, which involves others, and then obviously the festival as well, the Edinburgh, which also involve others. But when it comes to Kemunto fashions, that is actually your own brand, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's been on for how long?
Since 2008.
2008.
Yes.
Great. And you did mention that you started with a bridal shop. And but these days, do you do just any attire?
Good question. I still do wedding dresses.
Okay.
I also do, wedding party. And then I also do evening dresses. If kids are going for proms, I have their dresses. If people are going for Christmas party, for instance, I have their dresses. If they're going for a Kaylee, I have their dresses. And recently, during the pandemic, I've been making a new collection, and this is crochet dresses. So I get to crochet the dresses, and normally crochet is used for either hats or gloves and things like that, but I've turned it into dresses so that the customers can get to have a nice long dress, wedding dress of crochet, or just any other dress, skirt, blouse, etc.
Okay, thank you. Now, when we talk about the pandemic, I mean, the year 2020 has been quite challenging. You agree with me? I know you briefly mentioned something that you started up this year, but generally, how has this COVID-19, I mean, this era with the restrictions and some uncertainties, has it affected your business?
Well, in was it March? March we had the Fashion Week, and the next month, which is April, I was going to open my shop in Aberdeen. I'd secured a location, and I was because normally I sell from home, But because of the pandemic, I had to leave that space and continue working from home. So this has affected me in that, with the wedding, the dresses that I do, people want to touch them. Because a wedding dress, when you buy it online, you don't know how it's going to fit. So people want to touch the dress, to feel it, to almost like bond with it. So because of the pandemic, I didn't get to open my shop. That's one. And two, really, there are no weddings going on. So generally, the sales are completely down. Yeah, I can tell you one thing, since the pandemic started, no wedding dresses have been bought.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's
Yeah.
okay, because right now the world we've never seen this since 1918. We were not there then.
Yeah, sure.
So we don't really know what is going to happen next. So for me, I'm just happy that people are keeping safe and not wanting to go and quickly get married, without knowing what's happening next.
Okay.
So I do sell other things. I make masks, so I've been selling my masks. I also, as I said, sorry?
Designer mask.
Well, I'm a fashion designer. Yeah, so yeah, it's Kemunto mask.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. I know also with, every time that there are challenges, interestingly, it also opens up opportunities. So from your view, or I mean, you are in the business, when you are unable to do this particular thing, maybe that is when you think about, okay, I can actually do it this way also. Did you pick up any form of opportunities during these challenging times?
As I said, I've been making masks. Because we always do awards for people in the fashion, art, and media. All these people work together in the fashion industry, because without a photographer, we are not going to really have, photos from the fashion week. And then we need makeup artists. We need an entertainer to come and show us, maybe a trick, or maybe sing for us to entertain us. So we all work together. And because of that, the year 2017, I started doing awards for the creatives in these industries. And since the pandemic, I've decided to start a YouTube channel, of which I talk to designers, to actors, to models, anyone in that industry, for that matter.
Okay.
So we record interviews with them, and we put them on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Actually, that was going to be my next area. About your media, platform, because I've seen that you've been quite busy, but I've not been able to actually pick that the area where you focus, which you've mentioned now, that you actually focus on, like the designers and co, to bring them on for people to know about them. And I think that's one of the opportunities as well that COVID has brought. When everybody's restricted at home, we have to find other ways to reach out to people. So that's quite great, and I hope that people are picking it up as well, and they will contact you if they want to get involved. Now let's go. Let's go to Kenya.
Yes.
And I will start by giving you a test. Are you ready?
Yes, always.
Okay. Do you go home often?
Before the pandemic, I used to go home either 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay,
but
great.
Since the pandemic, I've not been.
Okay, so the question should be easy for you. So that's a pre-question. That's not actually my question, my main question. So my main question is, do you speak your local language?
I speak two, yes.
Two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which one?
I
Which one and
speak
which one?
Swahili.
Okay.
Swahili is spoken around East Africa.
Okay, yes.
And I also speak Kisi, which is my local dialect.
Okay, so can you use Swahili to greet those people that are watching us, to welcome them and say thank you for watching us today? So go ahead.
Hamjambo nyote, asante kwa kukuja kuangalia hii mambo yangu. Tafadhali tumeomba muendelee kuangalia. Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much. That's 100% mark. Right. In Kenya, you also have a charity work.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was speaking with you and you told me about what you do, I reminded you that I know that you've got a charity work in Kenya.
Yes.
So which area is this and what exactly do you do?
So how it started, there is quite a few kids who do not have parents and live on the street. And they normally, when they see you, they are so eager because probably they haven't eaten or they haven't, they have no shower, street kids. So I decided, my mom is a member of parliament or a local parliament. So myself and my mom decided to get kids who were on the streets to bring them to a home and give them education, give them food, give them clothing, shelter, and love. So that's what we did. That was 2018.
Okay.
Yes. So since then, we still keep the kids. We give them everything possible. It's not been easy, especially because of the pandemic, but we still continue looking after the children.
Okay. Which area of Kenya is this place?
As I said, I'm Kisi, so it's in Kisi. Well, it's in Nyamira. I'm Kisi, but Kisi has 3 counties, Kisi, Nyamira, and Gucha. So we take kids from all the 3. Cases are one person, but the counties have been divided for political reasons. But whichever kids that are on the street that we find that are in need, we take them to our home. Again, we have to follow up with procedure. You just don't go and pick kids and take them. So there's a procedure to take.
Okay, that's great. And for this work, how do you fund it? Do you get help from people in case of those people that might want to get in touch to help?
So how we do this? As I said, my mom is in parliament, in the local parliament. So she gets, predominantly it's me and my mom that support. And my dad has a small hospital. When the kids are sick, they go and be treated, because normally going to the general hospital can also be very hectic. So my dad also helps in that the kids are treated for free in a private hospital. How do we fund ourselves? We pay for everything ourselves, but because my mom is in the county government, all the other people who work with her sometimes bring maybe a sack of maize. In Kenya, we eat maize. It's like what you eat called fufu.
Staple food.
Yeah, but we eat maize powder, cooked the same way. So they might bring maize, or they might bring the maize powder. They might bring beans. They might bring potatoes, things like that. It's not going to be like financial, but they help us with food. So that helps. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So if people want to get in touch with you, how could they reach you?
I'm always on Facebook. My name is Lydia Cutler. I'm on Aberdeen Fashion Week. I'm on Kemunto Fashions. I'm always on Instagram. I'm everywhere. nobody can miss me because I sell my clothes on Facebook Marketplace. So Facebook is like my office. So anyone looking for me, they'll know where to find me easily.
Okay, brilliant. Now, if we're talking about the African communities in Aberdeen, I mean, you've been there for a while. How
Yes,
has that community grown, and what's, especially during this challenging time, what help is available for that community?
Wow, good question. You know, I said I live in Aberdeen, but I really don't. I live outside Aberdeen. I live in a small village called Pitakuta outside Aberdeen.
Okay.
Now, people don't go to church anymore. People used to go to church. So people really, where they meet now is mainly on social media, because you're not going to go and meet somewhere. We had SARS and SARS, not SARS,
Yes.
and SARS get together. We went to a place called Castlegate. We stood there and, you know, we supported. Personally, I was with my Kenyan flag supporting Nigeria.
Thank you.
That's the time I saw most of the people that I know. But because I live outside Aberdeen, I don't really get to go to Aberdeen unless for a reason. So I was happy to see my friends that I had not seen for a long time. I was so happy to see I know there's so many Africans here, but I was so happy to see a crowd of us, you know, because normally you might see one person or two people. But it was amazing to see everyone, and also amazing to see that I wasn't the only non-Nigerian. I saw somebody from Botswana there. I saw someone from Uganda there. So it was really nice. It was like Africa united.
All right, great. Now bringing us back into your area, which is your professional area, either with the Aberdeen Fashion Week or the Edinburgh Fashion Festival. Do you see quite a good number of Africans getting involved in these events, either as participants or as designers? Do you see quite lots of Africans?
Good question. You see, because of what has happened lately, the pandemic, I don't know how it's going to be in terms of Africans getting involved, because Africans in the UK, yes, of course, they can if they want. As I said, I've had lots and lots of Africans, especially the Nigerian community, either from Nigeria or even from here, come and showcase. We've had African models also take part. Do I know what's going to happen next? Probably not, because at this time, nobody knows what's happening. They are saying there's a vaccine, but do we know if it's going to work? No, we don't know. We just have to wait and see what happens, take everything as it comes, happily, because if we become so sad, then we're just going to be depressed.
I do understand that. And then coming around to community activities here, I know that you are very, very active when about your charity in Kenya, and obviously you are very, very active also when it comes to your area of business and fashion generally. If you are not doing this, what do you do? How do you use your pastimes and co?
As I said when we started before, I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher, or secondary school teacher, as they call it in Scotland. I do supply teaching. Therefore, I go from one school to another, either weekly or sometimes I can stay in a school for a term or things like that. But because of pandemic, and the reason why I'm a supply teacher is because I need time, like during the fashion week, I need to take time off to do things. If I was full-time teacher in one school, it means then that I can't do my business. So, but right now, with the pandemic, obviously, supply teachers, like I think also care workers, nurses that work for agency. I work for the City Council, Aberdeen.
All right.
They also don't get to go to places because they don't want too many people coming to schools, because of the same. And they don't want me to go to one school today and then to go to another school tomorrow. It's not good for them. It's not good for me. But normally, I am a high school teacher.
Okay.
I teach English. I teach media studies. I have also been teaching philosophy in Scotland, religious education and philosophy.
Okay. I mean, that's wonderful. Like, let's look at this other area about family. People are looking, oh, is she married? How many kids has she got?
Oh my gosh, that's so personal. Yeah. I have 3 boys who are in college. One is finishing university from Robert Gordon next year. My 2 other boys are in college right now.
Okay.
I am not married, but I think that I'm happy like that. Yeah. Life is actually quite complicated and stressful. Who wants to get married? Yeah.
That is okay. What music do you listen to?
Nigerian music most of the time. And can I say something? I love Nigerian food.
Thank you. Is that the jollof rice or which one?
I love jollof rice. I love furiro. I love pondol yam. I love all of them. Egusi.
Wow.
All of them.
Okay. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
And Kenyan food is not the same as Nigerian food. We don't put spices. Most of our food is actually boiled.
Okay.
So Nigerian food for me, because I lived in India, I went to high school in India. It means that it's because of the chili, the spice, it's just amazing. I think I was Nigerian in my last life.
In your last life before you come into
yeah, I think so.
Then you should be the African United.
I am.
Yeah. So okay, that's great. Let's see. I think some people are just dropping some questions for us. Just 1 minute. Okay, that's for Nico in Lovu. I hope I mentioned that very well and say she's so lovely. So that's people are commending that.
Thank you.
Now moving on, we're running obviously towards the end of the year. Like we've all agreed, the year has been challenging. But just like you also mentioned that people have to keep moving, people have to keep hope alive. So on your part, what advice would you give people based on life experience that, okay, this year has been quite so challenging, but we still need to keep on moving, both individual progression as well as community progression?
Right. That's a good question. If it depends on what's happening right now in the world, we need to remember God a bit more, because without him we are nothing. We need to pray to God, thank God every day, morning when you wake up, because so many people have lost their lives. So we are not more special than them, but the fact that we are here, we should be thankful. Praise God, pray to God, ask, and just generally be careful in that we should keep safe and be our brother's keeper, especially Africans. If there is an African having issues or trouble, especially right now, we should get together and help each other, because we are so far away from home. The best thing to do really is just, it doesn't matter which country you come from, you're African, you have to be your brother's keeper.
Thank you very much. I mean, that's a good one, and I think that's one of the few things that we've always been looking at. That even if every other thing is okay, the fact that you don't have your support base here, your families are not here, unlike other people that have their maybe like 3, 4, 5 generations of their family here, and they've got roots. So, but for us, that support base is not there, and the only thing we could do for ourselves is just to keep supporting one another in order to, take us through these challenging times and for times to come. This question is more like general. I mean, everybody almost will talk about it one way or the other, that they've experienced it. We've got some news in the past, whether in the institutional, in the institutions or within the community or even privately. People talk about discrimination. You are here, and you said even where you live is just a little bit off Aberdeen. Yeah, I'm suspecting where you may not have that many number of Africans or people that look like you.
Where I live, there's 3 or 4 of us, because it's a village. So
that means they only see few of you. So when we talk about issue of discrimination,
no, not here. Where I live, because most of the people here are from the oil and gas community. There is no discrimination because they have been to Nigeria, they have been to, say, Angola and things like that. No discrimination where I live. But when I go to Aberdeen city itself, not good, not good. So this area, no problem. It's when I go out there, especially when I'm doing my, shows, or just sometimes even walking on the street, someone will tell you, go back to Africa. And I'm thinking, okay, I have a house in Africa. I don't come from a tree, so don't tell me to go back to Africa. And then they forget that in Africa, we have so many of Scottish people also in Africa. So I don't go telling them, go back to Scotland.
Okay, that's good. Now let's come round to another area that people love to talk about, and this is parenting, raising kids, especially African kids in Europe. So obviously you want to an extent, and when you look at having to train your kids, I know people will say African way or Europe way, but I think the most important thing is that parenting. Do you find parenting challenging when you look at African way and Europe way, and also for kids that you want them to know more about home? I mean, it's so great that you can speak 2 languages from your area, and being able to let your kids know about home and ensuring that they are connected, rather than some of the few things that we've seen where we have some kids that doesn't want to even identify with Africa, maybe because of what they are hearing. So when it comes to parenting and making the kids to know about home and that they are part and parcel of that home, how have you been able to do this? Did you find it challenging?
Good question. No, there's no challenge at all whatsoever. No. I'm an African mother. I do it the African way. Right from just sitting there and sending a child to bring for me a glass of water. Why? Because they have to know that they have to do these things. African mothers, we are like Hitler, but it actually works well for it works well for us. We just have the rules. We just instill the rules, and our kids say. I've never seen anyone. I know a lot of Africans here, and I've never seen any African with a child who has issues. Never. I've been here for more than 20 years. I've met lots and lots of Africans. everyone's children are great. That's because we instilled the African, the way we were brought up, you know?
Yeah.
No changes, no difference. Just because we are in another country, a child is a child and they have to be shown how to grow up, you know, the African way.
Okay, so I've got right here, that's from Oliroti. Proudly African parents, I'm solidly by your side. So that's a commendation.
Thank
Of
you.
course, we have from Nico, this is a question. My question is, how can we get more Africans to be supportive and encouraging others to build stronger communities when it comes to programs like this one? Personally, I'm involved in few projects, but I'm not supported by Africans, very small numbers of people. Thank you, Nico, for that. So bringing this to you, now, you've been in business. We'll still refer to that because it's by experience. You've experienced this. And we've got Nico here that says he is doing something, but he hardly gets support from Africans. So the first question.
Answer that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you answer that first. Then I will bring in a follow-up question. So go on.
Right. The fact that most of us are here we really work hard for the money, right?
Yes.
So you find that maybe somebody is in a nursing home working 12 hours. Sometimes they can't help you that way. And the fact that we are so far away from home, this country especially is very expensive. I don't get support from my African, actually, yes, I do.
Okay.
I get support from Nigerians, not Kenyans. I don't know why. As I said, I must have been Nigerian in my past life. But I really, honestly, I don't feel bad that people don't come to support me because people are so busy, you know. People are busy trying to create their own empires. They are not going to come and help you create yours.
Yes, but then, like we did mention earlier, was that we need to also, because if we don't support ourselves, remember that even in this country, even the host community, people from the host community, they still get, is because they have support from people around them. That's why they could move far. So maybe it's something where you may want to advise our people again about supporting each other. So maybe if it's coming from you, they will listen.
Okay, if they could, that could be really nice.
Okay, so let's go for it.
We need to support each other. It doesn't, as I said before, let's be our brother's keeper. But then when it comes to business, I'm telling you, I do my fashion weeks. I really wait eagerly to see even one Kenyan come. They don't, but I can understand they are busy making money. So they're not going to, take their time to come to me. I don't really, because I have those people who love me and come. If somebody wants to support you, they can. Yeah, if we can also try to help each other, support each other a bit more, that's also another good thing. But you can, as I said before, you can't force someone to do something. But if we can also try and, try and support each other, not even just in projects or anything, just saying, hi, how are you? How, even just a phone call. A Ugandan girl died in, was it Edinburgh or Glasgow? Early this year because
yes, we are from Glasgow.
She didn't have anyone, to talk to.
Okay.
So if we can even just a phone call is enough. We don't need too much. So that support itself. Again, I don't know why I keep referring to Nigerian. As a former Nigerian, we have a Nigerian women's group. In that group, we speak every day. People post their foods, what they are cooked for the day. I don't cook like that. So they are almost killing me with rage. Like, when will the pandemic be over? But the fact that we keep that unity, that togetherness.
Yes.
So they post the photos of their children doing stuff, you know, that helps. So if people can do even that, you know, that can be nice rather than be on everybody on your own.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Lydia Cutler, for coming on the program today. Obviously, we'll continue to watch what you are doing, and we'll be happy to bring you up here from time to time.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Yes, those that are watching us will get the guest details in case you want to get in touch and get involved in what she's doing.
Aberdeen Fashion Week there, they won't forget.
If you type Aberdeen Fashion Week anywhere, it will bring up our name and our details. I think this is just a parting question. They've asked, have you been to Nigeria?
Yes.
You've been to Nigeria, yeah. So that's
a friend of mine, Wobia, who is also a fashion designer, does fashion events in Nigeria, and she invited me to Port Harcourt to an event that she hosted. Oh, that was amazing. I loved everything, especially the fact that I was having Indomie for breakfast. For me, that was like great. No tea and bread. It's, you know, amazing. Yeah. So I loved the Port Harcourt very much. I went via I forget the name.
Is that
the capital city.
Lagos or Abuja?
Abuja. I went via Abuja. I didn't leave the airport, but because I'm a fashion designer, I looked around to see the people. Oh gosh, those people, they know how to dress. It's like they are picked, selected to be there, you know. I loved that. I just loved. I was in the airport for maybe 4 or 5 hours, but I saw fashion.
Okay, that's great. Nice. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
With you soon, and our regards to your family.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Right. You're welcome. As listeners, thanks for joining us on this program. Remember, we still have programs going on, and the next right on is the Yoruba Referendum Committee. Do stay on with us.